You got about 50 seconds before the opening of the top of the hour. And I put in buy limits for the pullback on the euro, Australian pound, selling the dollar if it comes back to where the retest up here, and then sell the dollar CAD. Anything from that floor up. 8 hours, 15 pips stop, 3 tickets, spread across 12 pips. So this is the that's your 15 pip stop, and this would be the same span, but with a wider stop and a wider take profit. But I'm going to put that up here. So that's going to take profits. It's going to risk 20 to make 50. So the scalp orders are just the little slotted ones. So I think I posted, I'll just repost the link to the, but I just wrote this one, so it's not in here. I just made the 20 to risk 20. And once again, I don't have any buy stop keys to hit. Normally, if I see a pullback, I'm buying. I'm just buy every pullback I see, every plunge I see. But I notice a distinct difference between buying at the market and placing a buy stop above when it's crashing like a whore. And you got a buy stop above there, so when it comes ripping back, if that's a scalp orientated order, you're going to make some money. So that's one thing if you're watching the market plunge. Now this London Open nonsense, this is kind of like the big session swing. And you're going to just see, wow, is that thing just... Is everybody going to jump on the first train they see? Or is this going to be one of those, oh, we'll have to, you know, that was over. Everybody sold the, everybody bought more dollars overnight on the fall below the floor. Now all the way back to fair value. So the market could just die out here at the floor where just everything went wrong. And if you had your buy limits, now if you were trading just this currency pair, and I guess it wasn't impressive to the guy that only made $1,000, but is only using, mind you, $1,000 of $2,000 of margin and 101 leverage. So it's using very little money to make that money and lose that money. I think it was down 400 or something like that. But like I said, if I was going to really try to impress somebody for some odd no reason, I was going to bust my ass on a demo. But you could do it. You could see that the theory works, right? You buy the previous support. It's how big do you get in on these trades? Now, it is not impressive to make $1,000 because, well, you just made $1,000. Now, if I loaded up these type of orders right here, you can see that if just on this move alone, it's a very tight stop. That's like if you're scalping on a 1 minute. Now, the difference between that order that's in here and the sequence here is that I'm picking the pip range first. I changed, you know, this is a jumbled mess, just to let you know. There could be stuff in here that's you're like, well, what does it say? I try to make it so the first number, now these are inverted, obviously. Very difficult to divide 15 into 5, so this is wrong. This is a 5 pip zone. 15 pip zone 5 tickets. This is the old version. If you bought this here, and that's logarithmic, so it's going to compress the orders in. Now, this would be a killer trade back here, and this is 100 pips, mind you. Plenty of pips here. So if you were going to scalp this thing just off the top, for instance, 12 pip range for here's 16 pips for an hour. Very greedy targets on that, but it would look like this. You just place it right at the top of here. So as the market comes up into that, you're selling up into it. And for the next hour, you're going to sell up into that. Just because it's, you only make money if you can sell high. And then, but I wouldn't want to, if I'm going to scalp off of this little baby top here, I need to put in a really baby order like this. If I want to trade pull back into that. On the 1 hour, it might be a wonderful place to buy. So this is the previous breakout zone. You know, go to the half hour. You know, you have to. It's really like reminds me of 8 aerial views of shuffleboard. And of course, how far can we get back to this bottom? So I sell into that. And certainly, since I didn't get into the market, I might as well get into the market. I'm so close to the market. As this thing comes into these gray tickets, the profits are green. Here, there could be a complete. Now, this happened yesterday on the dollar Swiss. Was the market actually cut through all previous supports, and it's just a blinding nightmare. This is why you need stops. For anybody that's trading without stops, don't forget. And people say, why are you trading during this time of year? This looks like any other price I've ever seen. This is the best trading in the world right now. This is like the real market. This is not, what is this, Thanksgiving? What's this about? So same move. You see the other move in the, okay, so the dollar could be baked. This could be it for the dollar, all the way to the top of this range. But I could care less, because look at this back here. What the hell's that, right? Fucking depegging, right? Is that the depeg, or does it go back further? Fuck no, here's the depeg. Right here, right? I always wonder if it's this one or this one, because this market's always been like that, and this one's way more vicious. 2011. This is just when people were like, "Oh boy, let's just reset that puppy." It didn't seem to make too much difference. Didn't make too much difference in the closing price. Okay, so all we care about is the time frame we're on, how we finish the year. I'm gonna just finish unchanged and just chat around here. Come back here and just, that's a hell of a lot of movement. It's like over, who can't, the inventory's been cleared, and it's just a matter of maybe just gonna quiet little bounce here. And of course, the idea that you're only making so much money, you're really dependent on market volatility. 8 pairs, I mean, it's definitely a circus. You have to really, if you want to take advantage of each pair, you place a lot of orders. And it's a lot of. Plus, they could just wipe out that bank, but at least you know here, we have a fixed risk. 2 times 3. It costs you $6. I'd say make it $8 to make 15. But you probably only make 13, so you always want to discount to do the math there. You want to add a little for slippage and the spread. These are kind of like idealistic ratios. Okay, so we're going to have to wait for this to unfold. Here is the possible pullback. This thing's baked. Huge trap up there, and I didn't even get a chance to see what happened there because I had orders, and I don't know if they got filled or not. When you have that many orders in there, you can't even know. But I did say put all my ledges here. I think I had them on the weekly. But the problem is, what if they blew through? See, I still got these left over. What if they blew through and my stop was too tight and I was right about the move, but this is overshooting this price by, oh hell, I'm talking about all the orders I had in here. If I had too tight of stops, and this happened in a blink, this is like, it happened like that. It didn't happen in a way that could take advantage of like a choppy top is going to not blow you out. Some of those, the market's going to pull back into that trap. But that was the whale trade. Call that the whale trade. See, here's the head. Here's the head of the whale. He's smiling. Here's his, and he's got water coming out. This is the whale trade. And we this top bottom definitely cleared that out. That was stupid obvious. The thing was placing orders out there. Big pain in the ass. Okay, looks like the dollar's gonna back off now. So I'm not in a lot of margin, but that's not the point. The point's about being right. You need to be right. I mean, this whole thing about you don't need to be right is complete bullshit. You need to observe the prices that matter. and put your orders on the outskirts of town. You need to buy out in the country, and then you need to buy fresh real estate. So market makes a new low, you're buying it. You have to buy low, sell high. So it's counterintuitive to confirmation entries and all that nonsense. Here looks like Australia dollar is still going to pull back more. So I'd buy this area down here, but I can see the pounds coming up. But it is hard not to trade at the market. You definitely, because you think, oh, this looks like it. But see how this looks like it could come back about 20 more pips into all these orders. And this is where you'd have to say, let's run some, trying to make 20 pips for the next hour and put it right on the bottom of that. So if it comes back in, it's only looking to make a few pips, and so you can make you can risk for the next hour. There's a 16 pip range, 5 pip stop. I just put them back here where all the money management bots are running their protection. Here, same thing. So for the next hour, this is 16 pip span. I could put the same order here and just cover this whole area for an hour. So if we get a flash crash, the dollar perks up here. Sellers should be coming in right now on this yen. So depending how close you want to trade to the floor, this would be the scalp trade. This would be the certainly 12 pips. Big difference between 12 and 16. You see real quick on the chart. Here's the 12 pip range at a slightly different area, because now if it spiked up there, it blew some of those out, and you had the 16 layered on top of the 12. And I should probably make this. Here's the 16 on top of the 12 with a bigger risk and a bigger take profit. Now you could go flat, let them blow that bank out, and start selling again above here. But these are 1 hour, so if you're afraid you're going to get the market screaming up there, you have to give it a time limit. They put all your orders on the tops for the fresh real estate there. And also this bottom here, you could put a single, or you could put a dense pack in there. So also a dense pack with a wide stop. I thought I put one in here. I think they were, here is 12 pips with, I do believe 13 tickets. Now this is a pretty hairy order. This is a hairy one here. Let's see, where has it lost it? I think that's 12 by 13. I think I put them on this ledge. No, it's by 3. Here it is. No, that's the inversion. So let me see if this is truly 13. I don't know if I made a mistake on that. No telling what kind of fuck ups are in here. No, it's 3. This is 13, but oh well. I must have been having Fibonacci distortion. Here's 5 by 15. So 15's a pretty tight. I would start at, say, at that. That's got the compressed tail on it. So that looks fine. It's backing off. It's backing off the floor there. So everybody that bought that, anybody that wants to make money clean in 8 hours is dumping. I should say anybody that's on the 8-hour train. Okay, the pound's barely pulling back. Now the pound's pissed off as fuck. I mean, come on, look at this poor pound. And the pound's the strongest. Of course, these things are dynamic. I mean, this New Zealand dollar could come crashing back to this. So I'm not really in long as big as I want to be in right now. But oh well. Like I said, that's the pain of not trading at the market. avoiding the reptilian mindset. Now, this core part that feels like you're missing out, I guess you jump on the train instead of waiting at the train station. The reason you don't want to wait at the train station is because the trains don't run on time here. So what's the point? So I'm just going to shop price and using $200 or so conservatively. If you're trying to make $200 a day, easily $1,000 a week or whatever it is, and you're using anywhere from $500 a margin, even if it's for a moment. I don't know what the max margin was when wheels came off the dollar yesterday, but having the targets also didn't move any of the targets, which on a real money account, swing account, you got plenty of time if you're in and you see the market's going to do a huge move and you're like, oh boy, here we go. We're falling in a giant hole and you're already on the right side of it. You can move your take profits, which I did on this demo. So the way you drive the car is totally important, is to say if it's a lease car, that's kind of what you're doing here with these time release tickets is, hey, I'm only going to have the car for 3 years. How bad can I crash it up and how bad can I, ruin it so I lose money? Same thing here. How much exposure do I only want to take this car on, it's when I go back to my high school reunion to piss everybody off. They're like, God, that guy. And all he does is fucking click a mouse. Sad. But see, that's the problem. If you're a real, I met somebody during Christmas, and I thought, God, could I show him how to do this? And I thought, I always wonder because, people that want to get down and dirty and beat stuff up. Here was a triple bottom buy here, dollar CAD. So I bought that last night, and that was the fresh low there. But now we're in this dilemma. We got that channel going on here. 4-hour dollar CAD. So nice buy. See, now it's coming back up, so I want to sell. Just a little slice in there. It's a little pocket. So I got these little scalp things. 8 hours. So this is just such a nice conservative stupid trade. Sell that if it goes higher. So to anybody that's just thinking of the dumbest trade in the world, 5 pips stop to make 10 pips 1 hour. Right here starts at the floor. Makes sense against the trend line. Here comes the British pound screaming back, all pissed off. Now, it's doing the same thing that the euro did yesterday, where it consolidates, breaks out, pulls back, and it doesn't even pull back deep. It's so pissed off. This is the other shoe to drop. This should be the last shoe of the week if it goes up into here, or it comes down in here and fills my giant my retest. You also have this moving pivot kind of rolling over here. It doesn't quite roll over as nice as it could, but your first indication that you're in an uptrend was the pullback here. So just looking back in time, if you placed this density order down here, you would have made the scalp out of the gate. You'd have to put you have to span, you have to get the sizing. The coverage has to be just right. This is like painting a house. You can't have the stuff pooling up. If you have too many orders pooling up, it's going to drop. It's going to be a mess. And in a 15 minutes, you can have a 15-minute script like this, where you're just like, okay, for 15 minutes, I'm going to buy this pullback, and I'm going to pad my account with some pips. And then the longer lasting orders, with the wider coverage, or even ridiculously down here with a 25 pips stop, looking to make 75 pips. So when it comes back, flying back the other way, you wouldn't have the time to pull the trigger on some of this stuff. Stuff happened yesterday didn't actually. I just looked up and I saw the currency at a different price, and I was looking at that with the flashes of color, and I just looked at the tail end, and I thought, well, it's just not, never gone anywhere. But it moved 100 pips, so it changed the first number. But look at this. Now this has probably got to be the easiest thing to trade. The worst spread, though. Okay, so right there, I'm going to buy everything from that wick down. This is a 4-hour chart. Big saucer bottom. You saw the same pattern in the euro versus the dollar here. It's a big saucer bottom. And it took out the lip there. It comes flying back. But that's the fast money. To make the money when the market comes crashing back real quick. Oh, this is some publishing this thing. Okay, so this is this could just keep going up, but there's a big resistance up here, the floor. So up into the floor, I'm going to place a bunch of orders just above the 50-yard line. And that could totally go up with the pound. I've seen them move together, so we're just trying to capture all the scalps in the morning, pad the account, and maybe ride out a swing later. So look, I already got fill and stuff that I need. Even it's this guy here. So this is coming back into this floor. How far they can push it down back to the starting gate. If everybody's expecting this to behave like the so it's kind of like grab what you can. Dollars in trouble. We just bounced off this floor. This is still screaming up, though. It's a whole different story here. So this one I'm going to put some I'm like 10 pip stops and a cluster starting at the 50s for an hour. And maybe I can get it scalp it right in that pocket there. So crashing to the floor. You could also project high probability that it's going to be somewhere right around here. And there's a bottom to place a pack. So that's going to, we could get stopped out of that, but it's very low risk. So I could also place this with all these clusters, or you could just canvas the whole area with one big, giant, long-lasting behemoth. So I was running this yesterday. When the market heated up, I put this 40 pip in starting right here. Now that's 40 pips with a compressed fat end. All the stops are there. You could lay two 40s on there that last all day long. If you overlap them like this, where you come in between the other ones, you just put in a monster flash rally. So in a situation like this, I think I just put in like, I don't know, 15K, 20K. All different prices, spread out, market slams up there, retraces, it's over. Case closed. So it's about orchestrating this thing so that everything on the domino theory, everything unloads. Now this looks like it's just going to come back and get punished. At this point, I put the dailies, 35 to make 65. Not quite the best ratio in the world, but this you could lay in there all day, walk away. Great trade. Okay, they're backing off. So if I'm scalping out of something, this is where it's going to be. Everything's bobbing around. New Zealand could have scalped out by now. If you see a wick, hopefully after the wick, you've cashed out of something. So anytime you see a wick, that should have been the trade. That's the ultimate quick and dirty money. Is you have a big plunge bank in here, and market comes plunging in, and then it goes the other way. Okay, we got another wave of buying on the dollar coming now. So this will be quite the shootout, and here I'm going to buy just like nuts on this one for the next hour. So you can also make a 2-hour. So here is the, I'm just writing 8 hours on here. So here's like the 8-hour plunge. And then you could have it, you can, if you don't delete the stuff, you can see the stops. You could put in, they stop you out, you go flat, and you pick up another order bank. So we should get out of this. We want to get out of the scalps right away. Okay. So I don't even know how much I'm risking here. So I picked up $300 a margin. Now we got to wait for the bottom of the hour. We could get a big scalp play out. 4 hour. So I'm on the 4 hour. There's more trading on the 4 hour. Here the British pound is pissed off. Now this is one of those classics where it's just total accumulation and we're just zippity doo dah. We're going up. I got sells up in there that lasts all week long. So the ones that say W1 down here, but I don't know, some of that stuff you have to account for all of the see, here's a monster 8 hours. Start selling everything above here for 20 pips. So if we pop up here today, that would be the way to sell off of that for take profit to this. It's not likely. There's not enough time left in the week. So I'm just going to scalp the final hours. The market's going to close in like 13 hours. So it's over. Week's over. There's always next week. So I picked up $300 a margin without getting in at the market again. You have to step away from the reptilian part of your brain, people. You can't just multi-level market your way to success. Hopefully we're scalping out of something here. It's the bottom of the hour. I just scalped out of something. So I was in $300 a margin for a little bit. Boom, I'm out. Now we wait for the if there's follow through to the top of the hour, and then if it looks like it's had it, I would cash out, reload. So now that I'm babysitting the market like this, I could cash out and get the same damn price on a retest. Here's a big piece of news coming out at 4:30, and I don't know what it's going to do, but that's yellow, but it's the only news to chew on. And then 9:30 a.m. and I don't know. I guess it looks like just one of those classic moves. It's just the market. Can't blame it on the news now. So I'm up $10. Look at that. So here come all the scalpers. 5 minutes before the top of the hour. And at 5 minutes, hopefully we'll be out of something along with the scalpers. So I scalped out of something here and picked up $15. I got rid of $15 of margin there. Now next 3 minutes, I could cash out of all the winners because there's plenty of pending sitting here waiting to get filled. Or I wait. So that's so volatile. You could cash out now and be up on the day. Or you hold it for the next half hour. News is coming out. So there could be a big sell off in the dollar right into that British news. And then who knows at that point. Still got sells up here. This kind of independent of the other currencies. The dollar Swiss about to fall through the 4-hour floor here, which would drive up the euro. Of course, the dollar yen's on in its own private world, I think. So this guy comes down. I did put some buys in here for a retest of that wick, depending on how that happens. And for that, I put in a seriously wide canvas, a whole zone. Like this is, I think I got a 40 pip starting at that wick. could put 2 of those in. Okay. So we're waiting again. Cashed out of something there. So it's always good to cash out of something, reduce the exposure. You can always get back in on something else. 8 pairs. Okay, just took something off. Yeah, we'll let that play out, come back just before the news. News in 5 minutes. I'm up $50. Looking to scalp out of something. I sold the dollar yen there. So at this point I could scalp out. So I get filled on all these sell tickets up on these, I don't know where the profits are. So I can put my finger on the cash all profits button right now. Get ready to pull out just before the news. This had a just big deep pullback, but not getting filled as heavily as I want to get filled. Really want it to pull back deeper. It's got 5 minutes. Okay, 5 seconds news. We should get some type of conclusion here on the British pound, whether it's going to continue up. Not a big news piece. But it doesn't matter, it's the bottom of the hour. Okay, that pound's coming after the high of the week. Looking for a smash up into my sell limits, comes flying back, cha-ching, bada bing. Because that's what I'm talking about. The sellers attempted to come in here. They backed it off a little bit. It looks like you might get some follow through now. So if you went to the 5-minute chart, you could probably see the pullback at the 50-yard line. And now you're looking for follow through to close that big hole on the north side. We'll be cashing out. Hopefully these are the targets for the tickets I'm in. Otherwise they're the targets from the tickets way down beneath. I did have some, I wanted to buy that pullback and add for a big outlandish target. Here comes the euro dollar. Just broke out. Looking for everything to follow through here is a smash down coming into buy limits here. That may be too close to the market. So probably these are probably bad trades, but it's a demo. I could pluck those off with the trusty close ticket. Should have it in here. So I could pluck these off before we get there. If I put in too many, and maybe just buy the new lows, buy the fresh lows on that. Or retest that wick. Okay, we're about 1 pip from crushing through the top of the week on the British pound. First target's up here. We'll start selling in a wide range of 40 pips. If we should make it up there today, and we could trade from both directions. But this is the moment of truth. You go to the 5-minute. Got a kick. You just took out just by 1 pip there. Sellers are still coming in there for the moment. We're cashing out of something here into the top of the hour. I just took about $10 as a margin off the table. Still looking for this puppy to break out. Look how brutal this is. So this is taking forever. Euro's already off to the races. I think I'm cashing out of this pullback in the dollar yen. So this is frisky. I don't know what's coming out of the top of the hour, but the market's going nuts right now. And it's just top of the hour stuff. Okay, so I'm out of stuff. And who knows? I'm ready to hit the scalp key and just jump out everything, but I do want to get this damn British pound to go up. So I'm in the 5 minute here. If you go to the 15, you see it just keeps going. Here you can see the retest. Here's the top of the week. Here's the daily. Here's the weekly. So the daily, sellers should come in there. Got to break this high of the day though. First you got to get through the high of the day, then we just do a sheer straight up, bam, double staircase straight up. Okay, starting to fill it. Should be quick and dirty. Boom. Get the fuck out of that thing. Targets are going to be, so the targets are being hit right now, and a few more pips into the sells. If I was scalping, I'd be getting out right now. Everything go flat. So I'm $165 a margin now. If I made $200 with 101 leverage using $200, it's perfect scalping stuff. Now we could wait right for the top of the hour, and it could just be blistering here. Got 50 seconds left. Could have a blistering rally in the pound. On the 4 hour, targets are going to be this bottom here, just a few pips away. We already hit this target, so the window right there. And then the sells start after that. 25 seconds. This guy's just screaming north. It looks like we could take out the high of the week and just keep crushing into this. So I put sells up here, spanning a big area for some type of. But it's the end of the year. It's over. Forget about it. Put a fork in it. Okay, so I'm ready to cash out right now and everything. I'm going to go flat. Top of the hour. Okay, there you go. That's it. Okay, so that's the update on the demo. I'm just going to cash out. Head for the hills. Party's over. Waiting for the pullbacks.